Still have no fucking idea what you were trying to say.
Okay, so welcome everyone to the August recap. It's been a bit of a weird month, but it's kind of been good. Well, we'll go on to personal progress. I can start that off. I think in terms of the world, I'm kind of finding it difficult to ground myself.
You get that when you're not busy, don't you?
Yeah.
When you're not busy, like it amplifies, and you're like, oh God, like, you know, there's nothing really to ground me and anchor me. That's kind of how I've been feeling about university. Thankfully, I start next month. Whether or not I'm going back, I don't know, but I don't know. I'm hopeful, you know?
Yeah, this month specifically has been a testament to actually getting out more.
Long story short, it's just people doing what people do.
I've seen people hugging each other and, you know, and like sitting and having a coffee with each other. Like,
I've seen people elope to Italy.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah. Hey, Harry.
Hello, Harry.
Hello, Harry. I've travelled to Italy, and here I am.
It's been a lot of like getting back to norm, I guess. You know, we're going out to restaurants and stuff. We went out to the pub.
Andy's got his fries there on the plate.
It's almost the size of an actual plate. You know, we went out to just do normal things, and it felt really odd. Obviously, yes, I'm very angry at a lot of people in the public who are wearing their masks like below their nose.
Yeah, I don't get that. It kind of defeats the point of wearing the mask.
It doesn't make sense. I understand some people can't wear them. It's less of like physical medical issues and more like mental things. So like say if somebody gets very anxious in a very enclosed space, they can't really wear them.
Yeah.
But like you get people who have them on, but have them below their nose. Do they know your nose is connected to your mouth?
Behind your nose, in the middle of your face, is a space called the nasal cavity. It connects with the back of the throat. You dumbass fuck.
I've been doing this progressively. So if I see somebody in a shop or something with it below their nose, I just kind of go, and I shuffle my nose part. It only worked the other day in Primark. I looked somebody dead straight in the eye, and I shuffled my thing and I went, and I looked back, and it was on their nose.
Power of passive aggression.
Victory Screech!
And also, in reference to my goals for last month, shoot myself point blank in the head. Oh, I took a full 2 weeks off. I did no paid work. I did say, however, I wanted to take the entirety of August off. I kind of did, with technicalities, which is very much a me thing.
Towards the beginning of the month, you know, things were kind of getting back to normal. You know, I was seeing more people. It's just towards the end of this month, things have just kind of uprooted a little bit. And it very suddenly. And like, it's kind of made me realize, regardless of like what happens from here, I don't think I'm going to lose contact with people. But an era of my life has ended. It was so weird kind of seeing Harry off for the last time the other day.
The thing that's so hard is that there's so many factors kind of like going on in everybody's lives. You know, part of me wants to kind of like just drop everything and leave. And I don't really know how.
I'm happy for people who are getting on with their lives, and I've been constantly reminded, especially by Sally, it's not that I'm standing still, it's just that when you start comparing and looking at other people's lives, like, comparison, I feel, is like the death of all joy. Roll with what punches have been sent your way.
Mark was talking about this the other day, is the difference between Jim Henson's Muppets and the Disney Muppets, right? The whole heart to it with Henson's Muppets is that everybody's different, and that's great. Everybody has their individual quirks. Like, look at Gonzo. He's a freak.
You're a freak, Gonzo!
You look at the Disney Muppets, and it's like, everybody's the same, you know, and that's great. We're all alike. And both are great, but I prefer the first.
The new Citroen C4, alive with technology.
What have you done? What have you done with your life? So, you know that monkey thing that I've been harping on about for ages, that I was on for like 3 to 4 months?
Mm-hmm.
Finished it.
Alright, monkey, so if you hop in the car with me... Okay, I'll be in the car. Oh, okay, this isn't gonna work.
But I finished that on like, I think the second. Lots of people like it, which is great. and the guy wants me back. I was so apologetic throughout the entire process because that's how I am. I mean, Mars, who I work for, put me in a video.
Yeah, the bit where you're holding a file.
I just look like a nervous wreck, and I'm like, yeah, that's me.
I know that it's nerve-wracking and awkward to ask somebody to help you out with your own video, especially if you genuinely like their content.
I'm so glad I got that finished because now I feel I'm more attuned to doing smaller works. Like, I like having one main thing to do for the month, but I kind of prefer now that I want to have more breaks. I want to do smaller projects.
I think you're great at kind of taking big projects under your wing. Every once in a while, you need to just kind of step back and just be like, yeah, this little thing here, this is what I'm working on right now. I applied to university this month. I've enrolled in the next year of my course. I'm secure, basically. I've got my modules picked.
Right, okay.
And yeah, like, on the one hand, I'm really happy about that because it's like, oh my god, yes, you know, such security. I don't really have to think about it anymore. But on the other hand, I'm like, oh my god, I don't have to think about it anymore. What do I think about until I go? I like having something on my mind because otherwise I go mental.
In tune with my previous one of wanting to take breaks, I pre-ordered that new Avengers game.
Ah, sweet.
You know what else I did, Harry?
What?
Got a new freaking hat.
You suit like a really scraggly beard. You look like a funky homeless man.
A funky homeless man? Watched Spider-Man 2 with Emily, and we both did this.
Pizza time.
This was a test up until that moment right there.
It wasn't even a thing of like, oh look, let's say pizza time. He slammed down those pizzas and we both just said,
Pizza time.
Hell yeah.
And I loved it. She's currently wearing the hat now. We also had men over doing our wires.
Yes, I think it's coming up at a bit of an angle, but it's okay. We're really probably going to want that 32mm spade bit up here, mate. Does that come out, that mod?
Because the Wi-Fi has been absolutely terrible, we've had to change the little router antenna to a big one that looks like a traffic light.
Is it actually sorted out now, the Wi-Fi? Because I know at the beginning of last month it was horrible. Like, it wasn't working at all.
I also taught Emily some animation techniques, and she was just so happy with herself.
Oh, that's so cute. I did that.
And I'm really proud of her because, like, Emily mainly does like keyframe style stuff, so she delved more into doing like in-betweens and like doing the boiling effect. From
what I can tell, like in yours and Emily's joint animations, like she does a lot of background stuff, doesn't she? Like she fleshes out a world really well, and you tend to kind of focus on character models, or is it the other way around?
With her art, she has got some really good character designs. Like she's really good at like setting out like the wardrobe for a character and their palettes. So here's a few of her characters. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. We got so annoyed with mosquitoes that every night became, let's fumigate the entire house. I think we are running out.
Obviously heat rises. I know for a fact that, like, you know, for a few months of summer, like Alice's room upstairs has been a fucking sauna.
The heat rises, so the room is hot, and anytime we have lights on, that attracts them. And fun little science fact here, Harry, you know the thing we breathe all the time?
I'm aware of it.
Mosquitoes love fucking CO2.
So that when you're breathing, they go, good. But because I'm me, the Patrick quote of, SpongeBob, we're not
cavemen! We have technology!
And I beat it to death with the raid can instead. I have noticed though, and I'll put in a few clips here, that whenever I am angry with mosquitoes, I go really Scottish. We Scots on the Highlands never give up.
Your past is a continual enigma to me, Kai.
Dude, you're from Yorkshire.
Aye, that's what they want you to think. It is. Nobody knows who I am or what I do.
Look at your passport photo. You have a face change every few years.
Never do that again. I also had a bit of a heart-to-heart with myself the other day because I just wasn't feeling anything, because I just got really downtrodden by this whole, like, pandemic thing. Because
I feel you, man. I've been having the same thing.
I was just like, you know, because there's autofill on browsers, and I'm not kidding, of things like, when can we hug people again? I just find that so depressing. And unfortunately, yeah, that's part of my mindset. It's like, when can I go up north 300 miles away and hug my mum?
That's your main concern, isn't it? Going back and seeing your family.
That is my main concern. Like, I understand that, people can go to see friends, but I live 300 miles away from everyone, so...
Yeah, man, it's difficult. I completely understand that.
Although, on a good note, I'm glad I moved here when I did, because if I didn't, relationship strain would have set in.
Yeah, no, like, it sounds like you and Emily have really supported each other throughout all of this. Really genuinely happy for you both.
Yeah, it's good. We've got a good team.
The first on my list is probably like our typical relaxation. It's like a sweet little peer into your life. Yeah. Like, you and Emily just seem to be having a laugh just playing about on your computer. I think simplicity works a lot, and I think that's what that video has in droves. Like, you guys are just having fun and just vibing.
If we're going on with honesty, my first favourite would be Past Bean, Future Bean.
You are a person who talks about stuff a lot.
I talk about stuff.
I really like that one because it's very honest. I just like the dynamic that Sally and yourself have.
Yeah.
You know, how realistic she is as well. It's like, what do you want to happen next year?
Really, anything that is good.
I always feel better after I've seen Sal. To be honest, and if I am honest with myself, I made that more for me because, like, having a realist kind of talk about the future makes me feel a little bit more comfortable because I know that I'm going to get the actual truth.
I think my hopes are pretty generic. I think basically I'm pretty boring as a human being.
Wanting kind of peace of mind and a bit of safety, I don't think that's boring. I think that's just a general human need.
My next one probably is Harry, the one that I made yesterday.
Yeah, that was nice.
Gonna miss you, man.
It wasn't necessarily the funnest video for me to shoot this month, as it's on the subject of my best friend going abroad. But it was a video that I needed to shoot, and I think Harry and I were kind of like talking about for the entire day, like, oh, should we do a Two Harrys video or something, kind of like, beforehand. We couldn't think of anything to do, so I think he was probably looking for something creative to do at the same time.
Squelchy goodness.
So I think we both kind of needed it just to kind of like clear the air a little bit.
This is how friends bond.
With Harry in regards to COVID, I disagree with him in a lot of regards. At the same time, I really wish him well. We both have opinions on the thing, and they're both valid. And at the end of the day, I just want my best friend to be happy wherever he goes. Because the thing is, nothing right now is technically illegal apart from like not going into certain locations with your mask on. The thing the current rules are saying, as far as I'm aware, is the fact that it's all about taking calculated risks. If it's something like going to a mate's house or something, for me personally, that's a calculated risk, and I'm like, I need to see some people, especially right now.
Well, my next video is Seething Hatred.
We've all had that piece of technology that's just, it won't do as it's fucking told.
There's a shot, I'm not sure if you can decipher it, 2 to 3 frames of me spinning around on my chair at like lightning speed.
Yeah.
I'm so angry. But we did have a laugh at the end of it because Emily just couldn't contain her laughter.
Work now or I fucking...
I think your angry videos are probably my favourite videos that you do. Your anger is a work of art. And my runner-ups were Ben has had sunflower.
It seems I had fun.
When you send it to me when I'm in the middle of being with people, I can't go through the work to translate it right there and then. I still watch the video kind of like with like the weird titles. It's like a weird hybridization between French and just gibberish. I don't know what to make of that. And then you just like, I'm like, okay, fair enough. I'll go through the process of translating it as Kai obviously wants me to do. Still have no fucking idea what you were trying to say.
Did you Could you actually hear what he was saying, or was it too?
No, no. All I heard was like.
You just heard the very sad like cadence of the whole thing.
Was he actually saying English words?
Because he's saying, "I am the sad sunflower. It is not in my nature to fall over. Also, bad news.
The beans have fallen."
Like, I genuinely want you to make like a full-on short film. I want you to kind of like structure it like a normal narrative until like a weird surrealist moment goes in, and then like just go nuts with it.
Which brings me on to my third favourite. What was your favourite kind of thing from that?
Probably just Kylo Ren dancing shirtless in the garden.
Get out.
I've got my last runner-up, which was Thundercloud. The reason why I like Thundercloud so much is because just naturally I love watching thunderstorms.
I'll do in quickfire my 2 runner-ups. The first one is an early morning reminder.
Stop getting involved in late night Facebook conversations.
Now I love that one because I have the exact same thing. I will be on I'll go to bed, I just have to look through stuff, I have to scroll through memes.
Browsing YouTube for Star Wars trivia also counts as you not getting enough sleep.
Future me, who's me now I guess, I don't fucking know, if I'm talking in retrospect to past me, hasn't got fucking memo.
And all you're left with is just feeling tired.
I do it when I'm anxious, you know, because my mind's just kind of like racing, so I'm like, oh, well, I may as well just kind of like focus on a video and like focus that energy somewhere. But then the next thing I know, it's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and I haven't got any sleep.
Yeah. Hold on, I come back up.
Okay.
There we go. I think my other favourite one was Zuko and Domino's Wild Ride, because I can attest to that.
Those little shits.
I love you, but fuck you.
Ow!
Like, whenever I just kind of like had my feet just on the ground, like, you know, 5 seconds later, he'd just be clawing at it to the point where I had to just sit in the fetal position so he wouldn't get to me.
What are your overall feelings in terms of your own thoughts, like your mentality, just how the world is?
I think the world itself has been getting kind of better, mainly just kind of like in regards to my personal life that I'm a bit kind of conflicted. But the world itself, yeah, like people seem to be having a bit more fun than they've had in previous months, and like genuine fun, not like trying to make a point fun. There is those outliers as we kind of described earlier, but like on the whole, people in my life they've just been living and steadily getting back to normal, and I'm kind of happy about that.
We are in that low slump now. Yeah, there are localized things, you know, people going to the bloody beach all the time and all this.
I still can't go to the beach yet. I can't work myself up to go.
We go only to like the small beaches which have like only a few people there, because we know that they're actually going to distance and space out. That was quite nice, actually going to the beach like after I'd finished the monkey thing for Brandon, just sitting in the ocean.
Hi, Kai.
I start university this month in September on the 22nd.
Are you actually going in?
I don't know yet, but if I am, I have a goal for that. I want to just be sociable. A lot is changing in my life, and a lot is going to change further in my life, and I just need to be a bit more adventurous than I have been. Like towards the end of the year, I was starting to come out of my shell.
I can taste some moldy cheese.
And I was starting to chill out with people, and then all of a sudden, all right, go home, bye.
Are you gonna film stuff when you eventually physically go back?
Yeah, hopefully. I plan to film stuff at university because, you know, I want to capture the experience of being back. University means a lot to me. Number two. Essentially, I want to work on my mental health. Step 3, enjoy the little things, you know? What about you?
I want to structure my month out a little bit better. So I want to do at least 3 to 4 paid works, like small paid works. My second goal is more in line with that, is that I want to make, or at least start on doing more stories. I want to get at least storyboarded, okay, completely. And then my third goal, I think, is to just play some games more. I mean, Avengers comes out on the 4th of September. I need to work on scheduling.
I've enjoyed the month itself, just like some of the stuff in it's just been kind of like, oh god, like life is changing really quickly.
So yeah, if whoever's watching like this, feel free to like it, favorite it, stick it in a playlist or whatever. You can subscribe. Hit the bell if it's there.
Boil it, mash it, stick
Put
it in
them
the stew.
I'm thoroughly enjoying this, but Harry, I'm sorry about this. I need to shoot you.
What?